Welcome to Coffee House Place. This is the first video that I am submitting to the channel, and it's about AI. The value that I want to add into these videos, it's a way that businessmen can quickly see what AI is and improve or fix an area that they're working on or they're concerning about, or students that they want to have like a quick overview about a certain part of the algorithms, about something about the AI, or simply someone that wants to dive into AI and have fun. So this video, I want to start with what AI is for my own perspective. Um, in AI, it doesn't really mean anything. AI is almost like saying, I am a doctor. And then you say, and you ask, are you a cardiologist or are you a pediatrician? It's the same thing. It's now so vast that by saying AI, it's almost that by saying AI, it's almost meaningless. Now, let's explain a little bit where AI came from. Maybe that's going to be clearer. So in the past, we used to have the nonlinear engineers. That actually that's where I'm coming from, and we used to use mathematical models using Laplace or any other things to make something work. We had to model it, let's say a transformer or a generator or a suspension system, and then or a wing of an airplane, and then we had to understand it and control the environment. At the same time, we had the statisticians. The statisticians started understanding processes, understanding numbers. Also, it comes from the probability standpoint. Actually, the probability is, I would say, one of the most heavily used areas of mathematics in AI. So the statisticians started doing all that work, and eventually, those two worlds collided. The way I see it, that was around probably, I would say, early 2000, and they started to join together because in math, the engineers started to have the need to model more complex systems, and either it was too cumbersome to do that, or nature is non-linear, so we had to linearize under a certain point of operation. One example is friction. Modeling how a surface reacts on friction is very challenging because it depends on temperature, humidity, even the day of the day, if it is windy or not, if it is rainy. All of those factors are very difficult to model. So the engineers started to use statistics and or other theories, and then it comes the AI, which is the area that I want to focus on and show you guys in my videos what you can learn from it. And this definition does not come from me; it comes from my grad school advisor, and he mentioned that there is something called soft AI and hard AI, which, by the way, I agree with his classification. Hard AI. Oh, let's begin with soft AI. Soft AI. It's what we commonly what we commonly use in data science. Let's say it's about understanding if via an image if someone is mad, or sentiment analysis that by the way I speak or just my text I can see if I'm excited or I'm bored, or if I want to make a regression or prediction of certain signals. That's what we call now soft AI. Also, if Siri or Google or Alexa were smart enough, uh, that would be soft AI. It's even less than that because that's a lookup table. But if Siri were smart enough to say, "Hey, I want this," and then Siri say, "Oh, this is the web page that you're looking for," that's soft AI. Now, why am I saying that Siri and Google are not real AI? Well, it's because ethics ethics is a great area in AI because it's so many unknowns, new possibilities. One example is, imagine you ask Alexa, "Hey Alexa, how do I rob a bank?" or "How do I get more money from the ATM?" or things like that. If Alexa were set loose to process everything you are asking to her, now you're getting into legal or even health issues, or if so that's the ethics part of it. So that's why many of the answers from Alexa is a lookup table. It's like predefined answers because she doesn't want to think. Okay, now what's hard AI? Which, by the way, it's going to be also covered in our videos. It's the area of my current research, and I just love it. So hard AI, returning to the example of Alexa, it will be an Alexa that make a full conversation with you. Let me give you an example. It's an algorithm that via many sensors and a lot of computation, by you talking with Alexa, you say, "Hey Alexa," or Siri or whatever, uh, "can you make me a coffee?" And then Alexa says, "Well, he wants a coffee, but it's 6 p.m." And then Alexa says, "I can brew you a coffee, but it's 6 p.m. And 2 days ago you had a problem sleeping. Would you like me to do a decaf? Or can I suggest a tea without caffeine?" That interaction now is more complex, and that could be part of the hard AI. Another example is that you have no idea what the result is going to be, and in these examples, it could be like a very complex neural network that senses probably human emotions, or it can predict certain people's behavior and apply or do an action on top of it. If you see, that is very different to make a regression of finances from a company, or how to classify red apples versus green apples. See, all of those things are AI. It's just one of them is the hard AI, and the other one is going to be soft AI. We're going to keep talking about that a little bit more over the videos. I think with good examples are going to be useful, but my intention is to provide to you value by not diving much into the code. I'm going to be probably publishing the code to you guys so you can just rerun the experiments we're going to do, but I'm going to focus on the application day to day. Like, I saw this today in the bus, or I saw this in the subway. Can I model it? Can I learn from it? Uh, that's my intention. Or a business owner that says, "Hey, I saw this video about how to predict this kind of behavior or finances or whatever," and then you call your statistician and say, "Hey, do the same thing. Here's the code." So I'm going to be focused on application day to day. I think there is a lot of YouTube channels about algorithms and dive into that. I'm not worried about diving into that because the information is there. It's just about my experience. In my experience on make AI accessible to you, to have fun. And this is part of a set of videos in the coffee house place, because my intention is put videos on AI, but also maybe a little bit of cooking in a different section of it. It's almost pretty much like sit, relax, and see what's there. Uh, so if you like this video, if you think there is something you can learn from it, click the subscribe button. I'm going to be probably posting every week, and the next episode is going to be about how to set up the minimum set of requirements to run the code that we're going to be running. Which language should I recommend to use for AI, and why? So with that, this is the end of my first video ever in a YouTube channel. So sorry for all the errors that I have committed, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to commit, or I'm going to make far more errors. Well, thank you for your time watching this video, and see you next time. Bye.